So no cheer. Hey.
Apartment again.
Yep, that's why I didn't finish it. You notice how I stopped halfway through?
Shouldn't have began to begin with.
Yeah.
JoJo Heroes.
JoJo Heroes.
We're back.
Mind
Hi.
you confide. I don't actually know the words.
I don't
So
know.
I'm just leaning on Andrew because this mic it works when you're like.
You can tell. See?
Oh, my cheeks are clapped.
Wrong cheeks.
Can you hear the vent, or do you need to?
No, the vent's fine. This microphone's. By the way, special guest appearance of Andrew's since yesterday fiance. Say congratulations to the nappy couple.
Thank you.
I'll be quiet.
No, you don't have to be quiet. You know how rare it is to have a femoid voice on this channel? It's
I
crazy.
was here once.
Once, yeah. Once.
Wait, where? Where's?
Yeah, we did a Black Mirror episode.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
How Black Mirror comes back. I should card that. Yeah, we did.
Well, year has been Black Mirror. What?
It's true, yeah. No, he did say that we don't need to make another season of Black Mirror because the world's fucked right now. But JoJo, though, JoJo's always fucked.
And bizarre.
Dude, this is what I needed.
Almost like a bizarre
Adventure. The last video.
title drop.
The last video, I was like, this is interesting, but it's fucking boring. Like where's the fucking bizarreness?
Yep.
This week,
where's
it's
the
back.
Hamon? Where's the stand?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's here.
And we're learning more about it as we slowly progress.
The
And
Devil's
it's getting
Palm.
more and more interesting. Yes, with the Devil's Palm and figuring out
More
people's
about
stands
Zappelli.
and Zappelli and where like he's Officer Zappelli. He's a fucking executioner by family trade and
Shit was
everything.
so good. So we'll start with the Devil's Palm. So I like Araki. You know,
Yep.
Araki as a writer is just all about like efficiency.
Efficiency and creating new ideas.
We all know that his thing. Story, I feel like, is like second priority. First priority is how do I get my characters in situations where I can just do off the walls, batshit crazy, loony bin fucking battles.
Yep.
So he's like, okay, I don't want to just have them start with stands because this is kind of like a reboot of the series. So what if people jump on here? So I have to re-explain them.
And so we're thinking
we'll have,
Hamon is brought back,
which
is great because that was a simple little intro to JoJo from season 1 and season 2.
You can almost
slightly season 3 with Joseph,
True.
Old Man Joseph.
That was like the weaning off of Hamon.
Yeah, and then everything else after that was stands. Whereas this is bringing back stands and also bringing back Hamon is what I'm.
Well, you can see part 7 almost feels like it's like going through all of the parts really quickly to like reintroduce you to everything, right? So like I said, like we look at like the spinning thing that Zappelli's doing. I'm just gonna call him gyro. It's a lot quicker to say. As like that's clearly Hamon, right? Like, and if it wasn't obvious enough, there was that moment where he did the spinning through one guy's outfit to another guy. Remember, like to tangle up that guy's shirt.
And the dude that
which is
he
just
hit
like
was perfectly fine.
Exactly, just like the Toad in part 1. So. That I have a feeling that is a even if he doesn't say it verbally, that's fucking Hamon.
Also,
And then
a thing that I found really interesting was Araki saying, "Oh yeah, our main character Gyro Zappelli, not a Joestar,
that's really
but
interesting.
Zappelli."
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by that notion.
Yeah, and it makes sense because Johnny has been like super in the background. Like he's just
Yes.
kind of there.
Like he may have all the big panels focused on him, but like
Not
the more important shots were of Gyro looking back at
Johnny.
I was gonna say Joseph, but Johnny Joestar, yeah, and then him reacting to Johnny or reacting to the big bads and
also,
fights
like,
and everything.
all the color pages are like prominently featuring Gyro too. It's really interesting, and like that he's gotten all the flashbacks, yada yada.
I'm sure once Johnny
He's gonna
develops more as a character and his power, then he'll stand out a little more. But right now, it is focused on Zappelli and
I wonder if he'll end up like dying, and then like Johnny will kind of have to fill those boots or something.
Or like if he's out of commission or something.
But yeah, what I was talking about earlier though, is in like the efficiency of how Araki writes is this basically like we go 13-ish chapters with like no stand, other than Poco Loco. But like all of a sudden he's just like, by the way, there's this mysterious thing that moves around in the desert, and
it gives you stance.
It gives you stance, yeah.
Which comes to full circle of Mountain Tim.
Oh, we'll get to dude. Hold off on Mountain Tim for a second. I got more to say about Devil's Palm.
Mountain Tim waits for no man.
Oh, Mountain, you fucking Mountain Tim is gonna come right through the screen and make you talk about Mountain Tim because he's that powerful.
Hey there, Mountain Tim. Oh God, he's manifesting in me.
Cringe. Anyway, but Devil's Palm. I don't know if that's kind of supposed to be like the meteorite, like in parts 1 through 6. Maybe
that's
one could
since it was said like a star crashed in this place, and then all of a sudden it became Devil's Palm, where it's continuously moving throughout the land, and you don't know where it's going to be next.
Andrew had a really cool theory that like that in and of itself it became like a stand, like it's like
that's why it's always
in the
moving,
earth, and it's like moving, and it's aware. And it's got like this self-awareness and like want to transfer power to people, maybe.
And where we're at is the contestants that are traveling through that desert.
They're all getting stands.
Yeah, the desert that has no watering hole for the next 50 kilometers.
The shortcut, the crazy shortcut that Gyro took.
That no one takes is actually giving them stands because they're going through the Devil's Palm, which, damn, that is interesting to think about, and a crazy ass coincidence too. Because then we get to see a bit of Johnny develop a little bit of his stand, but then we also get to see the Boom family, the Boom Boom family.
Boom Boom.
God,
We'll get to Boom Boom, and we'll get to Cowboy Tim. One last thing about the Devil's thing though is it's just again it shows how much like what Araki likes to do, which is like, one, now you have a situation where anyone that followed him through that fucking shortcut is going to have a stand. And two, he's established that it can move.
Yeah.
So anytime he wants anyone to have a stand, it could just be like, oh, fuck, Devil's Palm's back. Everyone's got it again. And I'll be curious to see what he does for part 8 because like at that point will people have like made arrows out of the meteorite again, so that because like he's always has like a reason why people have stands, you know what I mean?
Oh God, mass produced. They could find ways.
Cool. Yo, little like fucking stand tablets. Like, yo, take this bit of meteorite. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm curious.
Be horrifying.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of interesting things about part 8. But anyway, so do we want to start with the Boom Booms? Do we start with Mountain? I guess at the same time.
At first it should be Mountain Tim because it led to the Boom Booms. Because we thought Mountain Tim was going to be a very background sheriff character. He's going to find the bad guys, bring them to justice. End of his story.
Bro, his stand is so cool.
He thought it was Johnny Joestar because of one of the Boom Boom families. Because
and this guy could change his face with the iron shit.
But apparently it was all 3 of the family members. They were able to manipulate iron.
It seemed like they had one stand among the 3 of them, which was interesting. And because stands seem to operate slightly different in this world, whereas like in the other parts, it seemed like when you got a stand, it was kind of like a random power. Everything we've seen so far, it seems like the stand you get has to do with like the situational, like either what you're thinking or what you're doing at the time. And so with Mountain Tim, he died.
Well, he was on the verge of death.
He was on the verge of death while clutching like he had like his rope that was all wrapped around him, and then like his body like merged with that shit. That was the stand, and now he can like slide his body parts up and down this
like
rope.
A pulley system, which
so weird,
is insane to think about. And so again, with Mountain Tim and the Boom Boom family, with the Papa Boom Boom, I forgot what his name is.
I will never not find that funny.
But he was able to shift his face with the iron in his face to look like Johnny Joestar,
and make it
look like
too.
he was the murderer for 3 of the contestants. And after Johnny, Gyro, and Mountain Tim were sprayed by the blood of one of the Boom Booms, they were actually going to meet up and explode on contact because
I hope you guys are appreciating this segment of Andrew recaps the chapters with no extra commentary whatsoever.
I'm just like, I'm trying to like replay it in my head.
Yeah.
Just like,
what you had was a situation where it was like exponential growth, which is something that I love when Araki does, right? It's like, hey, the closer we get, the more we're gonna attract because we're now magnetized, and like basically the speed's gonna go and go and go until we're gonna like explode on impact, essentially. It was kind of like what I told to Andrew while we were reading. It reminds me of one of my favorite stand battles in the series, probably an underrated one because I never see people talking about it. That fucking green baby thing from part 6 that they made out of Dio's bone, like, where like the closer you got to him, the smaller you got, down to like the molecular, like where they tried to jump on him and then like he's small, and they're like the subatomic particle shit.
Yep.
I love that kind of the idea of that. It's really cool.
Oh,
but yeah, Mountain Tim really surprised me. I think his stand is fucking cool, and he's like a really cool like ally to have.
Yeah.
Because he seems really reliable and smart. And
Because then, because he. Once Johnny and Gyro told them about what was going on after they averted, exploding.
Gotta love that.
Yeah. Then Mountain Tim's like, oh shit, no way.
Yeah, I think he probably felt a little bad too.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, they tricked me.
Yeah.
I need to make amends for this.
Yeah. So then he decides to kind of help them out and work together, and seems to have like a genuine care for the two, so he decides to join their group after defeating the Boom Booms.
Which makes me wonder too if the Dio guy is eventually going to join their group too, because clearly all I know about the villain is that it's not the Dio guy. It's Funny Valentine, unless he's like a secondary villain. I just know
which we haven't. Yeah. We don't know yet. We don't know who he is.
We've not seen Funny Valentine. I just know that a guy named Funny Valentine is the villain. Yeah, and it's clearly not the Dio guy.
And I want to point out too, like, Mountain Tim seems to be a cross between Whole Horse and Joseph Joestar. Because Joseph Joestar had Hermit Purple, which was vines and other things that he would be able to use and whip around. And then Whole Horse, he looked, he had that cowboy getup and everything.
And he's like a little bit less. Yeah, no, I see.
You kind of see what I'm saying.
That's interesting. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, it's just a really unique, like, visually, like that shot where he's about to get pulled in, and he stops it by like making his whole. Because at first I thought it was just his hand.
Yeah.
I thought that was the power. Like it was just the knuckles in his hand, but then he did it with his whole body. I was like, that's so cool.
It was really cool. That he would just segment his body and like teleport to different areas of the rope. It was super cool.
Which is why like he has such good control of that rope, because it's essentially like it takes the old like adage of like treat it like an extension of your body, very literally. It's like literally an extension of his body.
And then let's see, they ran into a second stand user, the villain, the Oya.
No, right. The dude he could make anything into bombs by like putting grenade
landmines or whatever.
Specifically with like the pins, because you could technically hold them in.
Yeah.
It was a matter basically if the pins moved from the location he put them in, then it would explode.
We got scared for Mountain Tim.
Dude, we genuinely were like, because we were loving Mountain Tim,
Mountain
and we
Tim.
were like, yay!
All of a sudden,
he's joining. It's
fucking
great, and then
blown up.
We literally thought, oh my god, he's
dead. But
dead.
he actually disassembled himself in time, and was able to reassemble. Like slowly after.
Araki loves that shit. It's like when fucking Bucciarati like unzipped all of his shit to like avoid getting. Yeah, I love that.
And then let's see, he blew up part of Gyro's foot actually.
Yeah, Zombie Horse. I'm confused about.
Zombie Horse was.
I thought it was gonna be an actual zombie horse.
I thought so too.
It was just a weird string in a wall, and they took it and they sewed his leg back. I don't understand what the fuck.
It looked like it was just gone, and yet here it is just sewn up.
Clearly, I gotta imagine that's going to be explained more in the future.
I don't know.
I think it will be.
I hope so. I really hope that Araki doesn't skip over.
That seems too weird to not be explained.
Like, here's a healing power. You're good.
I suppose that could be an Araki move. Like, I don't have a healing stand. Because I'll be honest, when I heard Zombie Horse, because there's a theme with JoJo. There's always a healer. Right, like in part 3, it was who was the healer in part 3? Right, was there a healer in part 3?
I don't think there really was.
No, there had to have been, because they always get fucked up damage and then someone fucking heals them.
No, they always kind of recovered after a lot of the big damage battles and everything. Kakyoin, after his eyes got fucked, he had to rest and relax.
What about part 4? Who was the healer there?
Part 4, that was Josuke.
Yes, right. So,
Josuke was the main
Part
healer.
4, because basically a lot of the parts, they have people that can heal like ridiculous wounds, because Araki clearly loves to give them ridiculous wounds, like to put holes in their fucking ears and like rip off legs.
But part 3 was mainly a power battle of all right, we toughed it out. We're
so
good.
part 4, like he said, was Josuke. Part 5, Giorno, obviously, could do all that.
Golden Wind.
Yeah, and then part 6, Foo Fighters, if I remember correctly, would like use the plankton as like a flesh replacement.
I think so, if we remember correctly.
So,
but then again, Jolene was able to just fucking stitch herself back
too.
up with her string.
I love Jolene so much. Her fucking stand is so cool. So yeah, I'm trying to think. We need to talk about Johnny's fucking fingernail thing.
His fingernails became
a little weird.
part of his stand as like razor blades or some shit.
I imagine
like
he's
discs.
doing some Koichi shit where like this is like the beginnings of awakening it. Like clearly it's gonna have like a form and it's not just gonna be finger. But like that shit's powerful. I mean like he's the one that cut that motherfucker like in half, right? Like, vertically.
The dad boom boom, yeah.
That was intense. Like, and we've seen it too. Like when he does that flip up, where he's like flipping up to get on his horse.
The rotation.
It's
was passed down.
It's like he does a whole circle rotation cut, and it like cuts deep into the ground.
Yeah.
Like even when he wasn't, it seemed like he wasn't even trying to cut anything, and he was just spinning to get up on his horse, and it like did deep ass slice through the ground. It's like you got, it's pretty potent.
It's like a fucking air jet, just.
Pretty
or like a water jet or something, where it looks like it can just cut so easily.
I dig it.
Yeah.
It's strange. It's a strange move that he literally uses his fingernails.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's getting wacky like I wanted it to. I'm really enjoying it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about. We didn't talk about Mrs. Robinson. I'm trying to remember
Mrs. Robinson was a very short-lived battle, honestly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was weird. He had bugs in his eye.
Yeah.
And he used them to activate like the cactuses that shot their spikes out, and that was like it.
And then Gyro used the vibrations of his steel ball to have the cacti all attack.
And that was literally it. It was very strange. Maybe like because then they later say like when they fight the people with the stand, he's like, "Hey, that's not like that guy. This is actually a power." Yeah. So maybe it's supposed to be like, "No, that guy literally just had bugs in his eyes. It's no big deal. That guy just had bugs in his eyes."
He technically died and then had one of his eyes removed and then had a connection with the bugs that lived in his eye,
like
and then he was able to control her.
Was it Shino, the bug guy from Naruto? Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. But like, yeah, I like that. That's very JoJo, where Gyro's like, no, that guy, hold on, no, that guy, he just had bugs in his eyes, super normal, barely an inconvenience. Yeah. But these guys,
I was gonna say like he was just a really easy fight.
Oh my god, so easy.
It was like a 2-hit wonder and fucking down.
It's pretty great. Anything else to talk about?
Can we not forget about fucking the dude who got his a hole blown in his chest and was laid out to die? Like, hey,
Dad,
Father, I'm getting chilly and everything's going dark. Son, don't worry about that. That's not important right now.
Dude, the Boom Boom family was a beautiful, dysfunctional family. You had the actually mentally just gone sister. The
brother.
No, the sister was.
They technically called him a brother, I think.
No, I'm talking about the actual woman. Remember?
Yeah.
What?
Like, I thought they called her brother.
I don't think so.
I've sworn they called
Wasn't
her
name
brother.
like L.A.?
Yeah, L.A.
I don't think so. I'd have to go back.
Yeah, I'd have to look.
She looked like a woman to me, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Either way, you had that one, L.A., who was like just fucking
gone,
last brain cell gone. And then you had the boy who showed up weirdly like, oh, I gotta cut my fingers off and choke myself because I get off to that shit sexually and it'll help me feel better.
Yeah, that was weird.
Rocky, man, I'm telling you. And then the father, right?
And then the equally dumb father who was kind of smart for his attacks, but just dumb and ignorant.
I mean, it was basically just a dad and his 2 inbred kids getting through life together. But it was so funny because like, yeah, he shot his own son through the spine to fucking get some of that blood on him so he'd have iron on him so it'd work. And then he's like, Dad, I'm still losing blood. I don't know if I'm going to make it. And
that's not important now. We're almost right there. It's like, okay.
And then it was funny because, like, unless we just had a stroke, I don't think he showed up past that scene. So I think he may have literally just died.
Yep, just died out.
No one mentioned anything.
Bleeding out. And then, the other 2 were lost in the Devil's Palm.
I think so. There's 2 more things to talk about. One is really quick, and one will probably take up the rest of the video. One is, let's not forget when he was practicing on spinning the cork, and he literally popped it up a horse's asshole. Yeah, and then it fell back out onto him, so that's cool.
That was weird.
But I think the last thing I want to talk about is Gyro's flashback. because that was fucking good. I
Yeah.
really liked that. Like,
So we learned
the
that
build up
he
was so cool. Hold on, do you mind?
Yeah.
The build up was so cool because like at first it's they talk about it many chapters in advance before they give you like they reveal what it was. So they're like, oh yeah, his dad was a doctor, and well actually first they reveal the kid, like the kid that the 9-year-old that needs to get executed, right?
Yep.
And then 2 chapters later they talk about his dad and how he's a doctor, and then 2 chapters later it's like, oh, finally the reveal actually his dad was an execution. Well,
he was
also
technically a doctor because he had to study the anatomy
Yep.
and martial arts of putting people at ease before they get executed,
And being
which
able
is
to kill them swiftly in one blow.
really
you know?
interesting. You know.
The reveal was so good.
Oh
like,
yeah, we were not expecting that.
It was done really well because it was one of those things where I didn't see it. Like
Yeah.
it didn't click with me until like a page before. I was like, they're walking in the building. And I'm like, oh my god, he's the executioner.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
And then you see it,
it
and
was
Gyro's like shocked by it because like he's been told his whole life, you're gonna take over for me, and he just thinks it's a doctor. And then no, just kidding. And then his first day, it's like, you got to kill this 9-year-old, by the way. And he's just like, I can't.
Nope. He's like, nope. That kid's innocent because
He's
was
a
not
fucking 9-year-old
who was shining shoes
in
and
the
was
room where the
taken
treason
in
was
by
at.
the by the Baron who was planning the assassination of the king. But the kid was doing nothing wrong, and Gyro saw that, and he's like, "There's more to it." And the only way he could get the kid out was
basically
through
to
the
impress
steel
the
ball
king
run.
enough by winning this. Yeah.
So that he could get the money to basically have a retrial.
Yeah, basically. So that was just good.
Yeah.
And like we finally kind of learned, like, because I was so confused from the very beginning what the fuck the steel ball was, what the fuck
It was just
the spin was.
It was just a Zappelli family tradition
of like
putting people at ease before they executed them.
And I love how he took that and made it his own. Like, yeah, this is our like doctor skills. I'm gonna use it to smash people's fucking jaws in.
Yeah, basically.
I love that.
Where it's like, no, this is a tool to be put for, to be used for peace.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
Nah.
oh, pain? Got it.
I reject you, father. Also taking the steel balls. Bye.
Yeah. So it was quite the duality of what he was used to versus how he is now.
Yeah, I like it. Also, young, long-haired Gyro is pretty hot. I'll be honest. Like, I'd smash.
He would. He would smash.
Yeah. So, let's see. I guess the last thing I'll say too is I think, like I said earlier, with the Devil's Palm thing, it does seem like in this iteration the stand actually is kind of like related to like your character and like what you're doing at the time. So like even with that time guy, like I don't remember, didn't he talk about how like it was skills that he had? What was his deal? I swear to God, he had like a line.
He was a bomber. He was already a bomber.
Right, he was a terrorist that was going to try to kill the king.
He blew up the king's cart, which killed 5, and 2 of them including children.
Yes.
And then because of that, 4 days ago, he gained that power and was really confused by it, but he was already so used to it and understood his own power.
Yeah, so like that was interesting because he mentioned that was like the 4th time it was confirmed basically that like the stand becomes something that you're like already kind of doing, or like I said with Cowboy Tim, who was like cradling the rope at the time of his death, or almost
like
death.
it must be like something you're very familiar with.
Well, either that or like what you're doing at the time, or what you're thinking about at the time. Because like my theory, because we're seeing Johnny, it's like doing the spin with his fingernails,
and it seemed to be enhanced when he was in the Devil's Palm.
Yeah,
so,
well, I imagine that's just him like it's awakening for the first time. It's enhanced from not having a stand,
which would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but so my take on it is that what have we been seeing him do the last like 10 chapters? Practicing the spin, right? So they probably just passed through the Devil's Palm as he was practicing spin, and that's going to be like his stand is going to be like basically the spin as a stand.
Right.
So in a weird way, sorry, I was probably getting your leg asleep there.
Oh, it is asleep.
Sorry, well, if it makes you feel any better, my arm's asleep, so that's why I was moving. You'll be fine. I believe in you.
I can feel my foot moving back.
It wasn't even the leg I was on.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
It's because all my weight was on it.
Oh, fair.
Oh, son of a bitch.
But like, what's interesting though, if your and I interpretation of the spin is that they're using Hamon to do it, spin. If our interpretation is that the spin is being used with Hamon, and then Johnny's stand is like a stand version of the spin, Johnny's stand could be like a stand that is perfect combination of a stand and Hamon. Like
I
a
would
stand
love to
whose
see
ability
that.
is Hamon.
I would love that, honestly.
And that would make him like really interesting and like worthy of being the main JoJo. Like
Right.
a perfect like the avatar between fucking Hamon and stands.
That'd be great. Ah, there's the pain.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, you didn't do that. It was me.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
good to
I laid
know.
on it.
What
Funny.
did you do?
He was just his leg went asleep. So
I
now
was popping a squat and I had the wrong leg under.
Catherine, I just made an Avatar: The Last Airbender reference. That means that you have the right. Shut up. That
No,
means
you shut up.
you have the right to make a comment because that's something you know about.
I'm so sorry. I was taking this, what vampire power would you have? And one of the questions was like, what are you going to miss the most about being human? And they were all like very serious answers, but one of them is, I'm going to really miss garlic. And I was like staring at that for 5 minutes because I was laughing so hard. I was trying not to be loud.
All right. I think that's a really great way. I think that's a really great note to end the video on. Unless you have anything else to say, Andrew.
Nah, I'm good.
JoJo. Hey, Catherine.
Until next time.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on JoJo?
Looks very cool.
You can. What? You scared of the hate? You scared of the hate in the comments?
No, I haven't. I can't judge it because I haven't actually like seen it.
You need to get her into that like later shit. Like the later. If you like whack, don't you? You like whack shit.
It depends. It depends. If it has a
does.
good plot, which I hear it has a good plot,
I think it does.
then yeah.
You
If it's just whack for the purpose of being whack, then sometimes no, I don't like that. 'cause
It's a mixture.
It's hard to
of both,
tell.
honestly.
Sometimes it seems pretty whack for the sake of whack, but then like occasionally they'll put actual like plot in there. It's hard to tell. Either way, that's peace for me.
See you.
You.